What are you doing here? You got sucked off.
You're right, and I've been having a blast up there.
Ghosts has returned for a 5th season, and the premiere, Sole Custody, comes with some major twists. One ghost is sucked off, which isn't a bad thing, as Woodstone is getting more than a little crowded at this point in the series. But much more surprising is that Jay's demon deal is front and center and gets an episode 1 resolution. Sole Custody starts off with Jay, Utkarsh Ambudkar, and Sam, Rose McIver, in a panic about Jay's deal with the demon Elias, Matt Walsh, and the awareness that Jay could be killed and taken to hell at any time. The ghosts are a little worried, but also easily distracted by sing-alongs, a moment that is a perfect representation of the show's humor. The bulk of the episode focuses on Jay's fate, but there are some minor side stories happening at the same time. Alberta, Danielle Pinnock, and Pete, Richie Moriarty, are debating how to tell the rest of the ghosts about their relationship, and Patience, Mary Holland, is questioning her purpose after an embarrassingly ineffective attempt at smiting Elias. Jay's big bargain is wrapped up shockingly quickly. The first big shock of the episode is that Sole Custody wraps up Jay's bargain with Elias completely, and the episode ends with Jay off the hook. Jay's initial attempts to trap Elias in the ghost trap are an interesting angle, but eventually he trades one soul for another, with Caroline Aaron, agreeing to go to hell in Jay's place. This is a controversial choice for the show, as the huge buildup over most of Season 4 suggested a longer payoff. It would have made sense for this to be a storyline that ran for multiple episodes, so such a quick resolution is almost a letdown. There were a lot of possibilities for Elias to become a recurring character, as he and Jay danced around their contract terms and Jay's attempts to get out of them. And while there was a little bit of that this episode, it did feel slightly rushed. Elias, however, still has the potential to return. His contract with Jay also stipulates publicist services, and excellent ones, judging by the podcast Get This Episode, although it's unclear if Jay actually appears on the podcast, a significant omission for nitpickers. And he could return in that capacity. It's more likely, though, that the podcast appearance and traded soul completely nullify the agreement, and now Jay is on his own when it comes to making his restaurant a success. That doesn't mean Elias won't come sneaking back to try and pilfer more souls, though. He is a phenomenal character so far, and his interest in Alberta, alongside her relationship with Pete, feels like a storyline that isn't finished yet. Carol being sucked off drops hints at what that means, and solves a problem. The second major moment from the season premiere is, of course, Carol getting sucked off. She agrees to trade her soul for Jay's, for, admittedly, pretty thin reasons. But after the deal is done, she is sucked straight out of the hell portal and into the skies. It seems that her sacrifice was enough to save her, which is deeply frustrating for Patience, who almost made that choice, and Elias, who doesn't get his soul. In many ways, this is a boon for the series. Carol largely served her purpose, as her life and death became a way for the show to comment on the situation of Pete seeing his wife with someone new, and then having to deal with living with her all over again. She also played beautifully into the mob storyline last season, but at this point, she was crowding the manor rather than adding to it. This makes her exit a neat way to tie up some loose ends and make way for new ghosts, like the others in the dirt. But it also provides some interesting new information for the ghost's lore. Up until now, it hasn't been entirely confirmed what being sucked off means, and a previous episode referred to it as the next stage of the afterlife. There's also been significant debate on if this can be moved along by something like completing unfinished business, although the ghost snail would seem to suggest otherwise. What unfinished business would a snail have? However, the show has established the existence of hell, and this episode having Carol sucked off from hell directly, and as the result of a good deed, seems to solidify assumptions that being sucked off is a one-way ticket to heaven. While this won't change too much in practical terms, it does open the show up to all kinds of other supernatural beings. With a demon in play, angels seem like an obvious next choice,